What's going on, everyone? It's Justin here, and welcome to episode 2 of the new modern condo makeover series designed by you guys over on Instagram. So I can't believe it's already been a month since the initial video, and for those who didn't see it, it was just like an overall tour showing you the brand new investment property that we purchased as a company to go ahead and make over and eventually rent it out, but also use it as a filming space for some of the smart home videos. To summarize, this property is one that has an incredible view, the curved windows around the living room, 2 bedrooms that are a pretty decent size, potential for a nice and large open kitchen, and I got it at a price point that I felt like was very reasonable for its size and bedroom layout, and on top of that, it's also in a building that allows Airbnb rentals, so it'd be a cool opportunity to see how we do on Airbnb and also practice that side of things because I've always been fascinated by it. I know you guys love the series where I integrate tech and home though, so this is like a great opportunity to really get you guys involved in the process. And if you haven't already, go ahead and follow me on Instagram at justin.tsc to check out the next set of polls, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel because we have many more episodes of this entire renovation process and the final tour of this condo project. So some of the design decisions that we made in the first episode include the kitchen color, the floors, and also the tiling. And the kitchen is one that uses a blend of like a light gray or an oyster finish and like a light walnut shade as well, which I feel like is like a more traditional look. And on top of that, it also has white countertops, which is Calcutta gold in a nice gloss finish from Cosentino and their Silestone collection. The waterfall countertops are something that I'm very excited for, and I think it's gonna look absolutely incredible. And the kitchen is made by Thomas & Birch and Cabico in what is their Elmwood collection, which is their highest end material. I then posted a poll for some of the furniture that I had to order pretty quickly to ensure that everything made it in time, and here are some of the results. So starting out with like the bed and the whole like nightstand setup, the ones that you guys picked are the Charlotte and Grayson combination, as well as the Asher bed and the Xander nightstand. And I've got to say, these are the ones that I wanted to win in like the walnut color, and I feel like you guys all have very good taste because these definitely will go well with the overall theme of the paint, the millwork, and also the flooring that you guys chose as well. The main bedroom is going to have a queen size bed with the Monaco leather finish on the back because I feel like leather is going to be a lot easier to clean than fabric for a rental property. And in the other bedroom, because it is a little bit smaller, I went with a full size bed with 1 nightstand. And I think the wood finish is nice and minimal. And the fact that this one has like an open bottom also makes the smaller bedroom still feel relatively spacious. When it comes to the couch in the living room, the option that you guys chose is the Dresden with the Allison finish. And it also has a nice side table that has a matching walnut that goes with the bed and the other furniture that we selected. And I think this is a good combination because this place doesn't have like the largest space for like all of the couches and like a sectional. So instead it's like a nice compact couch similar to what I have in the office right here, but it also has a bit of storage and like table space if you want to have like a food, drink, magazines, or just a space to charge your phone. So now let's go ahead and hop over to the space and take a look at what it looks like right now after everything has been completely demolished, and we can start the process of selecting where everything is. So here we are in the space after the first few weeks of renovation, and as you can see, everything is essentially cleared out. We put the kitchen itself on Facebook and sold it with the appliances and got a couple $1,000s for it, so that was nice because usually I have to pay for demolition, but all the floors were taken out, all the things are just like stripped down, the ceiling has been scraped off, plastering and paint and hole patching, that's all gonna be happening in the next few weeks. But in this stage of the process, everything has essentially been ordered. All of the millwork for the kitchen is a few months out. It was supposed to be a little bit sooner, but because of COVID and stuff, there was a delay. But as you can see, the design has kind of changed in the fact that it was kind of a compact kitchen before, and instead it is fully open now. It's going to extend all the way across, and the fridge is going to blend in perfectly on this side. For the first time, we're doing an integrated fridge. The microwave is going to be moved over to the island down here in a drawer form, and the island is obviously going to be right here. But I think the kitchen is going to be like a big point of the place where I feel like before it was really lacking. Over here and just like the general living room is where all the electric work is being done at the moment. And at this stage of the process, that is where like all of the wiring and rewiring is done, because they got to cut through the walls and everything and remove what they can. But some of the things that I decided to do was to actually replace 2 of the heaters with power outlets and instead have a higher voltage heater on each side of it, because I don't feel like having 4 heaters right here really makes that much sense. Some of the plans that I also have for the window is some film that blocks UV light, so it doesn't get as hot because it does kind of face the direction of the sun. And of course, also taking out all these blinds and turning them into electric shades. So that is going to be controllable from like the smartphone and everything. And instead of having 10 individual blinds, it will be combined into units of 2 for a total of 5 across. So I think those changes alone are able to simplify everything. Some of the other like optimizations we also made is redoing all of these can lights and also having power outlets installed in 4 different spots up here so that the wiring for the actual electric shades are completely invisible. And also the idea of having a media or TV slat wall come out of this area and just have the wire hide in the kind of bulkhead inset. So that concept is definitely an interesting one. I know a lot of people probably think it's a bit odd, but I've always wanted to try that. And on the other side, I was thinking of having like a flip out desk so you can at least sit here and work, and the bar will be on this side with a circular countertop that goes all the way around. So generally speaking, I think it is a bit of a optimistic design, but we're going to see how it turns out. But let's go ahead and show you guys the bedroom as well and some of the things that we've decided to do in the electric and the setup process of that. So this right here is the guest bedroom, and as you probably saw in the initial like walkthrough, it really isn't that big at all. But my plan is to have a dresser on that side and have a lot of storage for clothes and everything, because the washer and dryer is shifted in a compact unit to this side because the kitchen has been opened up completely. There's still going to be a lot of room to have like clothes hangers and everything, and the addition of the dresser over here allows a person to still have a ton of space to store things. There's also going to be a nightstand that still fits, as well as a bed that will go up against the wall, is full size. And over here, we're going to have a Samsung frame TV, and there's also 2 areas for a sconce light. I figured it doesn't make much sense to put the sconce on this side because it is a little bit compact already with the bed, the nightstand, and also the washer dryer. So we just decided to leave that side bare. We're not going to put any floor lamps or anything, but instead have lighting over here on each side just to be able to illuminate the room. The original intention was actually to have the pot lights on the ceiling, but because it is concrete, wasn't able to cut into that, so we kind of have to find alternatives that work best. There used to actually be a heater right here, which means by law you can't really put a bed right up against it. It's just not safe. It's a fire hazard. So because I really wanted to have the bed right up against the window and with a nice sill and everything, I feel like that makes sense in terms of optimizing this room. The other option was to cap off the heater and instead put it over here as a wall heater. I know it's not the prettiest thing, but for functionality, I think we find a modern one and that sort of makes sense. But right now you can see like the bare electrical work. It just had a lot of like shifting around and where the switches are going to go, and just figuring out what the best use case is while all the walls are completely torn out. So let's go ahead and show you guys like the bathroom and also the closet in the hallway, as well as the master bedroom. Before I move on though, I want to give a huge thanks to the sponsor of this series, Monday.com, and their easy to use and flexible platform that allows you to very easily organize and track workflows while also collaborating with the team effectively. So the renovation project like this, we've been using Monday.com because there are just so many moving parts. Different teams, trades, project managers, different meetings with like inspections and this and that. And there's a lot of different like things that are very timeline specific and like processes where one thing has to be done over another. And Monday.com is a very nice and visual platform that allows us to very easily see where the progress is of each specific task. They also have a lot of different customizability options in terms of the view that works best for your team and also setup, whether it is like the bar chart, the Gantt charts. For someone like myself who really likes a visual representation of where the workflow is at, Monday.com has been perfect. It of course allows you to very easily track task lists, which tasks have not been started, which ones are stuck, and which ones are being worked on at the moment and need to be completed before the next. If you guys want to go ahead and check out Monday.com, I've got a link on screen and in the description section below, and I want to give a huge thanks to them once again for sponsoring this video. So over here, it is a cabinet that is going to have like coat hangers and also some cubbies for shoes on the bottom. But over on this side, I was planning to have like a spot where your vacuum can just hang up against the wall and charge, and you can just store that away accordingly. So it would actually be a single unit of floor to ceiling. So I had them install a power outlet right here to be able to ensure that everything is charged and any other accessories or home cleaning products that you might have. So over in the master bedroom here, the plan is to make a few changes, but nothing too major. We added the sconces on each side to just have something hanging in the wall, and I feel like that custom millworked look like a hotel is something that I really enjoy, instead of having like floor lamps on the side that are added in after. So these sconces are going to hang on top of the nightstands. There's going to be a king size bed right here with storage underneath, and over on this side I was planning to put a TV, which is the same Samsung frame TV that blends in as art, and just kind of have that sitting right there, and maybe like a small console table over here, because I don't want to put a full-size dresser just because of the amount of room that we have to work with. But as we go over to the bathroom, everything has been taken out, and the plan is to do tile from the floor to ceiling. This stuff actually went over to the retail store, so it at least had some use. But yeah, there's gonna be some tile that you guys voted on in this room. All the lights and everything are getting switched out. The shower design is actually gonna stay the same. I was kind of considering doing like a full walk-in shower, but I figured for like functionality, it does make sense for some people, or like small families or someone with a pet, to still have the bathtub being a place with one bathroom. So just like from an investment standpoint, I figured that was probably the best idea. And the plan is to actually keep the tub because of the custom size, and just take out this entire panel right here and have them tile it all the way up to the edge, just to give it a high quality look. So yeah, the bathroom I wasn't able to do too much just because it is a pretty small space, but some of the ways that we can definitely optimize it is by adding like cabinets in the mirror and having like LED strips on the side. So I am definitely looking at some options at the moment to really make the most of the amount of space that there is. But as you can see, we have it in like this like shelled state at the moment, and I know it's still like a ways away, but I feel like with a few different steps of like the flooring being done, the kitchen cabinets, it should overall be a much smoother process than my last renovation. There are just so many large windows here, and just figuring out some of the problems that we're trying to address, such as it getting very hot in the summer, are all things that I'm trying to consider. But at the same time, being an investment property, you don't want to spend like an extreme amount of money trying to redo the whole thing. After everything's been torn out, I've got to say I was really satisfied by that process, because it was just nice to see everything that I didn't like taken to the dump and have the place in a fresh slate. And from there, you're able to decide like what changes you want to make on the electrical side, maybe some of the plumbing. And in this case, there were some things that were shuffled around, and I also have my typical changes, which is ensuring any like light switches and like power outlets are all in the most effective space for just general flexibility. In the kitchen side of things, there weren't any changes in terms of the configuration aside from some HVAC, and in order to make the kitchen a lot larger, I opted to move the washer and dryer over to the bedroom, which is a little bit controversial, but I feel like it's not completely unheard of, and that literally allowed the kitchen's like main space to be double the size and just a lot more seamless. If there was a better space to put it, I probably would have, like maybe adding a door that flips inwards, but instead, the fridge now goes where the washer and dryer used to be, and it's going to be like a custom millworked piece that just all looks completely seamless, and it also allows for a larger fridge. The biggest thing I noticed about this space when I first walked in is that it had such a great feature of like a large window, but it just didn't have like any trademark spot that was a statement. So I really wanted to make the kitchen a statement, and with the millwork and everything blended in, and the fridge and everything, as well as the waterfall countertops, I do feel like we did that in the design, and that is obviously a huge thanks to Cabico, Elmwood, and of course Thomas & Birch for installing it. The window shades have also been ordered, and before it was 10 different blinds individually placed, and it just looked awful. I personally like really don't like blinds at all unless they're like wooden slats. I feel like they just always get broken. They just look very cheap. They rattle all the time. The string gets caught and all that. So I usually like to use roller shades, and we did that again in this space, but instead of doing 10 individual pieces, I went for a 2-3-3-2 configuration, which is able to cover more within one span, and they are all motorized. Honestly, I thought the motorized would cost a lot more money, but the overall job to get all of the windows done, as well as both the bedrooms, completely motorized, came out to being about $5,000, and it is in a nice clean white finish, so I actually think that was a pretty good deal. Heat was obviously a big question. You guys saw me in shorts in the initial walkthrough, and that's because during the summer, this space definitely has a lot of sunlight coming in. So a few ways to kind of address that was to either like put a film to block out some of the UV heat, but that was like $4,000. So for now, I don't really have the perfect solution, but thanks to Dyson sponsoring this series, we're gonna have Dyson fans throughout there, and just any other solutions that could cool the space, I'm going to try to apply within reason. Because doing the film is just way too expensive for the benefits that it's going to provide, and it's still not going to completely fix the problem. After everything was taken out, it was also time for the bathroom to come to life. And in terms of the configuration, nothing really had to change or could have changed because it is such a small bathroom. So I reused the bathtub, took out all like the plastic on the front, and had the tiler just completely tile the front to give it a much more high-end look because the previous one was pretty faded. And instead of just doing tiling in the shower, I ended up having them tile the entire bathroom just to make it feel like a high-end hotel. But to be honest, after seeing the cost of that entire kind of project within the bathroom, even though it was done relatively quickly, it was just one where I would say in the future, if I was to like flip the place, I probably would opt to do something a little bit more economical, which may just be tiling the shower again. Thankfully though, it looks absolutely incredible, and the shower placement and everything was exactly the way that I liked it before, so nothing had to be changed there. It is a rain shower head that comes from above, and I don't see that very often. The drywallers and painters also got to work after the electric and plumbing was done just by closing off all the walls, extending the height of the closets, which is something that I feel like can once again make it feel very high end and is relatively quick to do. And also like just cleaned up all the areas that were visible based on the stuff that I may have removed. Another huge change is also getting rid of all the popcorn on the ceiling, which was very, very satisfying. In the next episode though, I'm gonna be talking about the entire kitchen install process and some of the millwork that's going into the bedroom that I also put in my own bedroom, as well as the countertop installation and some of the fixtures as they arrive. And I'm also really excited for the furniture to come soon as well. Just to give you a little bit of a preview though, one of the features that we decided to add in the closet coming in is an actual cabinet. And before it was just like a cheap like closet that had like a weird mirror on it, and I felt like it just kind of needed to be a little bit more exciting. And even though we could have just put like closet doors once again, it wasn't exactly the largest closet. So I figured it'd be a good opportunity to add something like a cabinet, which is one that can have like coats and hangers still, some areas for the shoes because there isn't really like a nice walk-in entry, and also a closet for some of the cleaning equipment and the Dyson vacuum. So the wood finish that matches the entire kitchen cabinet setup, I think this is an incredible feature, and especially with the black knurled hardware that is relatively thin and minimal, I think that came together super nicely, and it's instantly one of my favorite features of this entire project when it comes to the millwork. So now we can have the Dyson vacuum housed inside the closet, staying out of the way, some area for the clothes, and it just turned out very seamless overall. And after we show you the kitchen, we're also gonna be showing you the floors and how they turned out, because in this kitchen renovation, the kitchen actually had to go in before the floors just based on the type of floors that I went with. Some of the other things that I also ordered aside from the furniture includes some of the lighting that's going next to the TV itself, which I ended up going with just like a store demo model because it is going to be a rental property. And the model that I went with is the 2020 Samsung Frame TV. And the only difference between the 2020 and the 2021 is that the 2021 is just a little bit thinner. One thing that was a little bit interesting though is that the 2020 model is actually a little bit brighter. So I'm going to be putting the 2020 model in the living room where there's a lot of light, and the 2021 models in each of the two bedrooms. Thankfully, all the appliances did arrive though, because I know right now there's been like a huge like delay in a ton of different things, including appliances. So we're pretty fortunate that even though the kitchen was delayed, everything else has arrived in time. The floors have been ready for months, and the project is now moving along very, very quickly, and you should expect another update video going into detail of the kitchen very soon. As always though, if you guys enjoyed this video and series, make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop a like, and follow me on Instagram for the next set of polls, and I'll see you all in the next one.